He's trying to warm his voice up before it freezes.
He has to sort of
Vocalize.
tune in to his inner spirits.
Hello.
Hello. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Help yourself. That's your spot.
All ready for you. Great boosted moments. Quick calculation.
Yeah. How are we doing?
I think it's just people will join.
Okay, well, we'll let you get seated before we start.
Oh.
Shabbat shalom. Those of you here and anybody who might join us online. This is Shabbat ruchani. You might have been expecting to see Sandra leading this service, but unfortunately Sandra's not feeling very well. So we wish her a speedy recovery and a return of her voice. So we will be starting with Shalom Aleichem. If you remember the story about Shabbat, there are two angels that visit every Jewish home on Shabbat, a good angel and a bad angel. And if everything is ready to go for Shabbat, and the family are there, and the candles are ready, and the wine is poured, and they get a blessing from the good angel. It says, may every Shabbat be like this. But if it's chaos, there's no food on the table, the family is shouting at each other, nothing is going right, then the not so nice angel says, well, may every Shabbat be like this one. So let's hope that we're going to welcome in a nice Shabbat tonight with all of us.
Rabbi, what's the Hebrew word for an angel?
Malachi, it's a messenger.
A messenger.
Yeah. So we don't think of angels quite in the same way, at least not in this song. It's a
So
messenger.
we're going to hear the word Malachi quite a lot in this song.
Yeah,
It's
I
all
see.
about those angels. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elohim, Malachei
you light the Shabbat candles and you have a little bit of a reading there before you,
I'm sorry to that. Oh,
a little bit of English.
in English, but
I'm sure you shut
the colours of early evenings, sky blend and deepen, allowing new light to be seen, twinkling through the branches, the promises that in darkness new light will be revealed.
It's just a little tiny.
Thank you. Right.
Okay, that's what Let's get a little please.
The bottom of it.
Excuse me. I apologise.
Those might be too damp to work. Oh,
Is there any significance in which candle one lights first?
no, not that I know of. You could always get a second rabbi's opinion if you want.
Blessed are you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You sanctify us by your commandments and join us to kindle the Shabbat lights.
Thank you. And we'll continue now on page 3, towards the bottom of the page, Moshe v'Acharon. The people called to the eternal. And for this, I think you can use your like Moses and Aaron, that we've called on the Eternal, and that the Eternal has hopefully heard and will answer us. And we turn now the page, and at the top of the next page, over, Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Psalm 92. This is the song for the seventh day. We continue with ruchani. Next. It's on this page. And I think this is quite a nice line. This is from the mystics in Sfad, the words. And they used to go out and dance as Shabbat approached, literally going out in their robes and their gowns and calling the Shabbat to come and join them. And so that's what we're going to do with this as well. Come bride, because Shabbat in this is pictured as a bride. Blessed are you, Eternal One, our God, Sovereign of the universe, whose word breaks on the evening, whose wisdom opens heaven's gates, whose understanding changes times and seasons, and whose will sets the stars in their courses in the sky. You make day and night, growing light away from darkness, and darkness from light. You make day pass and bring on day, and separate day from night. You rule the hosts of heaven. Baruch atah Adonai, Baruch Baruch. And we continue at the bottom of the page with Ahavat Olam. Page 5, we rise with Shema, we are able. we hold to be true and sure. You alone are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You have freed us from oppressors and delivered us from tyrants. You led us out of Egypt, forever to serve you in freedom. And we witnessed your power, we praised your name and gave thanks. Willingly we accepted your rule. Then full of joy, we sang together.
It's in 3/4 time, you see. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2,
Now we're on page 6 for Hashkivenu.
I'll sing the first bit, will you read the rest of it?
Yes. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your wise counsel, and for your name's sake, be our help. Shield us from sickness and war, from famine and distress, and keep us from wrongdoing. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you are our guardian and deliverer, a gracious and merciful God. Guard our going out and our coming in, that now and always we may have life and peace. Before we continue with the tefillah, basically, we're going to turn back to page 1 and say a prayer for healing. Ana Elna Rafanala. This was the prayer that Moses uttered, asking God to heal his sister who had been afflicted with a skin disease because of what she'd said about him. I suppose there's lots of messages here. One is that we should try to be merciful even to those who might have done bad things to us. And this is also an opportunity to think of those for whom you wish healing of body or healing of spirit. And if anyone has any names they'd like to say aloud, this is the time to do it.
Brian.
I've got several friends of mine, but I think we'll leave them unnamed for today. We rise now, Magain Avot Imachot, Tefillah. In the bottom. Page 6. And let's continue in English. Page 7. Blessed are you, eternal our God, and God of those who came before us. God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of Jacob, God of Sarah, God of Rebekah, God of Rachel, God of Leah. Great, mighty, and great God, God our assistant, maker of heaven and earth, with the word shield our ancestors, with the phrase Well, there's not much by way of a Dvar Torah because I only learned I was going to be leading this service about, 5 o'clock? So, but I have to say that Vayigash, which is this week's Torah reading, is, I think, one of the very interesting ones because it's the whole story now of Joseph, who is becoming the vizier in Egypt, and he gets these emissaries from Canaan who are hoping to come there because of the bad famine, and he realizes that these are his brothers, and so eventually after he sort of says, well, all right, you can go and get the rest of your family, but I'm keeping your youngest brother here. Then he finally does reveal himself to them, and in the end brings his entire family, including his, by now, very ancient father. And of course they're there, they've come to Egypt to escape this famine. And I can only imagine what might have been said about that today, right? By many countries, sadly, because they'd be classed as economic migrants and therefore not eligible for sanctuary. Better to send them back to starve to death. Well, I'd be glad that Egypt didn't behave quite that way in those days and that they were let in. This is also the story is the source of the most often repeated commandment in Torah. And I'm going to see if you know what that commandment is. Anybody know?
Give us a clue.
Well, it's a clue in this story.
Of the neighbor?
No? It's related to that because it's related to that. It's, you shall not oppress a stranger. You know the heart of a stranger. For you were strangers in the land of Egypt. And that occurs more in Torah, something like, I've forgotten the number. I used to know the exact number. It's like 15, 16 times more than any other commandment. And it comes from this story today. And obviously, I can't help but reflect on the fact that we've just entered a new secular year, 2025, and we've just finished Hanukkah. And these things are, in my mind, related because, of course, Hanukkah, this year, has just finished up on New Year's, and we gradually watched those candles more and more and more light come. We had a bit of fun with our candle candles this year, and that we were down in Brighton, and we bought a electronic kind of Kia, which we took with us to the Queen's Arms, and kindled our Hanukkah lights and put it in the window, and everybody had a. They found it very interesting, and they were very happy. They said, "Oh, it's great, you know, we could celebrate everybody's holidays together," and sat there in the window. And first night, of course, there were not very, just a couple of lights. By the time we got to the last night, everything was lit. The bar manager just thought that was the greatest thing in the world. But light and light coming back into the world. And I was not very happy with 2024. It's one of the hardest years that I remember in my life, really. I can only think of a couple that were any worse than that. Just all sorts of things going wrong, losing friends, just so much. Not just that, but various health scares for both of us, and issues and things to sort out, and friends with problems. And it just made it a very dark time. And I've just been reflecting that, you know, not only did we add light in Hanukkah, but we're getting a couple more minutes every day of daylight. And those couple more minutes are I'm really counting them. It's like, okay, you know, I'll be able to notice it soon in the days, because I do very well with the dark bits of winter. I'm a light person.
But we're so privileged with electric lights.
Oh yeah.
With the streets and with our homes and bits.
Yeah. Oh,
But
indeed.
if we could actually go back to candles, it's very difficult.
It really was. I have something up in our Harwich house that was my grandmother's oil lamp,
Nice.
or at least the oil lamp in my grandmother's house, and it was the one by which my mother sat and did her homework up until she got sent to live with her aunt, which when she was about 12 or 13, but up until that age she was doing her homework by that lamp.
When we lived in Spain for the winters, it was Eastern European family. We went to their house for Christmas, and they had literally hundreds and hundreds of lit candles. And the moment you went in the door, no electric lights. That, just a special thing. It was phenomenal light. It was the most amazing. Hundreds and hundreds of candles, no other light. Beautiful. Quite amazing.
So anyway, I guess I hope that 2025 brings us all a little bit more light, literally, and perhaps even more literally if some of you have had difficult 2024, that 2025 will be better for all of us and bring light.
I wish.
And hopefully there'll be better lights than these.
Well,
Maybe, you never know.
all I can say is these are better than the ones that were here when I first moved here and joined this congregation in 1990. So these are better. They give out more light, especially when they're working. But there's only 2 of them out at the moment. That's not bad. It's not bad. I can remember. Not that anybody's probably interested in this, but occasions when any of the lights by the bima were out, and imagine how much fun that was trying to read Torah. Not good. I've seen more than a few fits pitched saying, Can't read in this. Forget it. No try reading it.
Headlamp instead of tefillah. You could put a headlamp on instead
Yeah.
in place of tefillah.
Don't laugh. I actually have a headlamp. And I bought it just for that purpose, but I never quite had the nerve to use it. So anyway, I wish us all light and this coming year. And so on page 7, we continue with, and then our version of the LA for this service.
So it's up to page 7.
It's the bottom of page 7. And then.
And then all that's divided us will merge. And then compassion will be wedded to love. And then softness will come to a world that is harsh and unkind. And then men and women will be gentle, and then both women and men will be strong. Person will be subject to another's will. And then all will be rich and free and varied. And then the greed of some will give way to the needs of many. And then all will share equally in the earth's abundance. And then all will care for the sick and the weak and the old. And then all will nourish the young. All will cherish life's creatures. And then all will live in harmony with each other and the earth. And everywhere will be called Eden once again.
And on page 8, we stand we were able to coach. The growing good of the world is partly dependent on unhistoric acts. And that things are not so bad with you and me as they might have been is half owing to the number who lived faithfully a hidden life and rest in unvisited tombs. Even when they are gone, departed or with us, they inspire us so to live, as in their higher moments they themselves sought to live. We remember them now, they remain in our hearts. They are a continual blessing. And this Shabbat, we remember Ross Levant, grandmother Tina Higgins, and David Darley, the husband of Brenda Langton. Are there any other names anyone would wish? Mention? No, I can't see at all what's going on there, so I don't know if anybody's giving that. Do something names. Well, for those we've named, for those whose names we hold in our hearts, and from those for whom there is no one left to say much, we say together. Eat Gadol, eat Gadash, Nebuchadnezzar, Yamal, Tivrach, Yutei, Amishmal, Chayafon, Yameton, Chayei, Kol, Yisrael, Avalam, Zman, Karib, Yimru, Amam, Yishmei, Rabam, Barak, Levam, Omeamai, Yitbarach, Yishtabach, Yitbaham, Yitbaham, Yitnaseh, Yitadal, Yitaleh, Yitabal, Shemay, Kusha, Rukum, Elam, Kol, Bechata, Beshirata, Beshirata, Benekata, Da'anyalam, Li'alam, Yimru, Amen. Yehei Shema, Rabba, Yishma, Achayim, Kalim, Delpos, Amen. Ostei Shalom, Yirah, Yostei Shalom, Aleinu, Yalkol Yisrael, Yalkol Yada, Yimru, Amen. I know of a couple of announcements because I read the bulletin before I came. Next Saturday, we have Rachel Shabbat, a special speaker after the service, and I hope you will all come and hear Rachel. She's not tomorrow, but a week tomorrow. Very, very interesting journalist, broadcaster, comes from a Mizrahi Jewish family. If my memory serves me correctly, she's actually like the great niece or the niece or something of someone that we used to work with in our faculty, Sammy Daniels. So I hope you'll all come and hear her. Why is she coming?
Why is she coming?
Because Love's invited her. Because we're trying to have interesting speakers coming to speak, to just do something nice in the Shabbat afternoon. She's a friend of Love's.
Good. Did I read that there's tea?
Yeah, tea and Torah. That's
Tea and tea.
yeah. So we'll have some
Not
nice.
tea and cake.
Well, there might be tea and cake too. If some of us have time to bake, which I'll probably try to do. Yeah.
So
Something
is her
like that.
name, she's named in the bulletin in case
Yeah.
people might like to Google it and see what.
Did you say she's Mizrahi?
No, no. She's from a Mizrahi background. Her
Iraqi
I have to Google it,
diaspora.
wouldn't
Baghdad,
I? Oh.
Iraq, Iran, around there. Yeah, that's her heritage.
So for those who are in book crashes or interested in book crashes, we're currently reading a book about Baghdadi Jews, about Arab Jews. It's called, I think it's called Three Worlds, Memoir of an Arab Jew. And book crashes is 2 weeks time, is it? I think it's the same date.
Yeah. So that they kind of link together the book and then her.
Or it might not be.
I get,
It's coming up soon anyway. I need to finish the book. Interesting, but it's written, the author is a historian, so it's written with a very specific style.
moving ahead to the next festival, which is in March, which is Purim. This is of interest to me because I'm involved in organizing it. We're going to have, for the adults on the Thursday, the 13th of March, anyways, Thursday night, a drag show, cocktails, bingo, a real kind of party for Purim. And my friend who is the drag is quite excited to come and be here.
Yeah, it should be fun.
And you've seen her before.
Yes.
You have seen her.
Oh,
You have. Absolutely.
It's her and him.
Well, there are drag queens are nearly all hymns. Drag kings are hers.
All right.
What about dragons?
Some people are theys. There's all sorts
You'll
of.
dress up in drag then?
Well, it's Purim, so usually you would dress in costumes for Purim, and indeed, see the whole Purim festival. If you really look at the words in the Megillah, it's a crazy story, because there's all sorts of very strange things, like the names of the people. A lot of them are kind of double entendres, and the comments that are made, like the heroine is so beautiful, she looks like a young tree. In other words, she's green. So when you sort of read these things and really think about it, it's like, wow, this is just crazy.
That used to be tricky.
Perhaps. But there's a way of thinking about Purim that, we all, and the funny thing you should say about drag, because I think we all reveal or don't reveal things of ourselves. And we may dress in clothes, certain clothes, because we're told that's the way that we're supposed to dress. I was a bit put out when I started school and found out that because I was a girl, I was supposed to be wearing dresses. You're joking. I'd wandered around in, dungarees or pants, my, jeans, that kind of thing, my whole life. And I was really annoyed. There's one picture of me in age 2 that I was in a dress, but I have no memory of ever wearing a dress until I was told, well, we have to go and buy your dresses now because you're starting school. And I'm like, what? And, and we do jobs, we do work where we're required to maybe dress in ways that don't feel very comfortable to us. And most people who do perform as drag queens or drag kings will say that they're often able to be more authentically themselves when they're somehow, they feel safer to say things than when they're in drag than they would as themselves, because somehow
That's anybody's performing, isn't it?
it's an extra protection. So, it's just a lot to think about.
And what date is that today?
It's Thursday, March.
You said 13th, didn't you?
You
Sorry,
have,
that one.
I do have my diary.
13th it is.
13, yeah.
It's a side issue. At school, you weren't allowed to wear long trousers until the 3rd year.
Yeah.
Up to then, you had to wear shorts, and if you tried to wear long,
Yeah,
you were sent home.
so, lots of strange things about clothes. I had a minor, more of a major rebellion in that because I had to catch the bus to go to school as a child, and you'd stand out there, and there was one year that we were on double sessions because the school was too full, so they ran one whole set of children and teachers in the morning and another whole set in the afternoon. The afternoon ran into the evening, and in the morning I had to be out at the bus stop at 6 a.m.
Wow.
And let me tell you, it's cold in Salt Lake.
It's cold.
It's very cold. That would be like, it could be 10 below 0, real 0. Fahrenheit 0.
That is cold.
And you're supposed to be standing out there in little ankle socks? No. So I put my snowsuit bottoms under my dress and waltzed into school like that. And got told I couldn't do that. And I said, tough shit, basically. My mother was totally unsuccessful, with my grandmother, in stopping me from swearing. No matter how many times she washed my mouth out with her life soap. It had absolutely no effect whatsoever. I just try to be a bit more careful these days. As a child. I wasn't. So we're going to conclude now. Enough of what's coming, but there are some other interesting speakers I see and different things happening later on in the year. We have a nice Shabbat in June with Love and his friend Rachel Weston, who is fabulous. So that'll be good. And we're going to continue with Kiyah Shmera Shabbat.
Which is on page
9.
Shabbat.
Page 9.
No,
Page 9.
it's actually probably some of you. It's
It is
probably page.
No, it's 9 on mine.
It's 9. Okay.
Quality control. Same number.
Yeah, we do have quality control problems. Yes, it is page 9.
What?
3rd from the top.
Kiyah Shmera Shabbat. If I look after Shabbat, God will look after me. God will look after me. This, by the way, is a Baghdadi tune. So with your shakers, if you could get a little bit Baghdadish.
What time did they teach you about that? What time did they teach you about that?
It'll be 4/4, but the Arab rhythms.
He's got one. He's got one. There's choice. He's got one. He's holding it in his hand.
Yeah.
Janet should know about algorithms because she used to, in her youth to be a vendor.
Yes, when I was younger and slimmer, to make a little extra money when I was not getting paid all that much at the county clerk's office, I did some belly dancing.
See us in your belly dancer along now.
And I,
Pictures of that.
no, afraid not. Afraid not. I always got matched in gigs, the Christian arranged gigs. I was put with this male belly dancer who had a lovely boa constrictor, and he used to loan his boa to me. And I can tell you, you get a lot more tips when you've got a boa wrapped around your middle and down one arm.
Oh, definitely.
Could make as much in one night as could make in a month.
We might do a little thing with them.
Hmm?
We run a service on the weekend.
I don't. Vince doesn't like snakes. He refused to let me have the vivarium full of snakes. And we do have some pictures though somewhere of me with Jonathan's critters. I have a friend called Jonathan, young boy, the second son of some friends of ours, who had quite the menagerie, didn't he?
Reptiles.
Of reptiles. And one day Vince came down for breakfast and I'd already gotten up and I was talking to Jonathan and had the critters around me, and so I was wrapped up in a boa and I had an iguana sitting with it on my shoulder, on my head.
His brother kept a snapping turtle in a tank in his bedroom. And we came home one afternoon to their house, and the snapping turtle got out of the tank in his bedroom, and it was stood at the top of the stairs, snapping. And you don't want to get anywhere near a snake. So Eric, the father, had to get a broom handle and get it to latch
Snap
onto
onto
the broom
it.
handle.
Stuff it back in there.
Oh dear.
They handed it on. I think they might have handed it onto a pond.
Or a zoo or something. I don't know what they did, but MJ, the woman, was a veterinarian, so they always had all sorts. They had cats, they had dogs, they had snapping turtles, iguanas, boas, birds. They also had birds. They had a ton of different birds. And I remember having visited them and written home to somebody here, messaged somebody here. I was just saying with my friends Eric and MJ, it's a bit of a zoo here. This friend replied, well, that's no way to talk about you friends. I said, no, I mean literally. It's a bit of a zoo. Anyway, with that, I think we should go and have some supper because it's still almost.
We have 4 online. We have 4 online. Unless
Well,